The way the elites are controlling everyone around, they don't force it on you. They make you come to the conclusion, because no one wants to do something because someone else wants you to do it. Everyone wants to do things because you want to do things. Money doesn't excite any generational billionaire at all. The thing that excites, at least in my opinion, excites anyone at that level is not just to win, but to make you lose, maybe even if there's darker intentions. But the thing is to gain control over the masses. And the way to keep control is to make you dependent on them. And what can no one live without? It's money. So they keep a lot of people poor in order to keep control over the population. Before I started my business or even got serious about finance, making money, or even generational wealth, I was broke. I got a gift of $1,000 from family, and I was able to save that throughout a year. Of course, this was grade 10, and I ended up just wasting everything throughout that 1 year on food, games, and meaningless things. It's what a broke person would do. It's what a poor person would do. Essentially, anything that produced, I stayed away from, and anything that took from me, I went to it. It attracted. The one thing that we're all taught to do, and that we all believe, and that we all always take into consideration and value above everything else, is living in the moment. We're taught to value the moment more than the future. We're programmed to be focused more on purpose over pleasure. We're taught to be focused more on pleasure instead of being focused on purpose. I'm sure you've also caught yourself doing this. You think to yourself, yeah, it's however many bucks, but I'm gonna feel good. I'm gonna feel better if I bought it. I'm gonna feel better if I used it. I'm gonna feel better if I ate it. There could be any amount of examples, but we've all been there. We've all wanted to feel the moment. All the programming starts in school, whether that's teachers or the students around. Those are the two influences that happen. And of course, signs and different things around you, essentially the environment. That is where the programming happens. And that's when we were kids. And especially when you get older, it becomes everywhere, especially on your phone. The biggest one being, of course, social media. Especially now with faster form creation and faster form content, you intake more and it's all programming. Now, what kind of programming? The programming is going to be whatever the companies want you to see. It's going to be whatever TikTok wants you to see. If you've heard TikTok on China, if you've heard the Chinese version of TikTok, they're playing violin and they're doing these mad things. They're showing the youth, the people who are using TikTok over in China, they're showing them proper things. And of course, in the Western world, the Americas, Canada, there's pranks, there's mukbangs, and purely just entertainment. And a big part of why the programming in schools work is because especially teachers and older people, they're gonna want to instill their views into you. Main reason is because no one wants to feel like they're wrong. And a lot of people feel like they're wrong when you feel like you're right. So they want to prove you wrong, they want to instill their views on you and essentially tell you that this is right, you're wrong, and that is programming. A big part of that is the ego. One that's not really noticed at all is avoidance. Again, through social media, through news, through even just talking with your buddies. People are always so focused on things that have no real significance to their life. By keeping you focused on those things, you're not going to be focused on the real things that matter. And of course, the three most important things in everyone's life is your health, your finances, and your relationship. When you're not focused on these three, you're focused on something else that isn't important at all. Those are the three that are most important to life. Everything important falls under those categories, like learning, having friends, being close to your family, and not living paycheck to paycheck, not being a wage slave. So those are the three that are the most important to be focused on. And a part of all of these is, of course, the belief that you have about the importance of all of them. The biggest one that most people have is about money. Lack of money doesn't make you poor at all. It makes you broke. But what sets the two apart is the way they see money. Seeing money as finite will make you poor. It will keep you poor. It will keep you broke. There is actually infinite money. I remember when I first heard this, I thought it was absolutely crazy until I looked into it myself. Because it can and it keeps getting printed, just shows that there's no value. Nothing that's infinite has value. That's why 304s have no value. That's why old used cars have no value. That's why anything that there's a mass amount of quantity of has no value. This was one of the bigger mindset shifts that I had before I hit $100,000 net worth. The reason that it actually helped me was because it got me out of scarcity thinking. And it really shows you that even with, well, I had a business, but you could have anything. With my business, I can go out and make however many sales. There's no cap to it. There's no cap to how much money you can make, how much money you can have, how much money you can earn, how much money you can get. Money is infinite, and the only reason it has any value is because we're the ones that put value on it. Most people don't really know much about the scarcity. That's why money is still in circulation, and that's why it's still running the world. Part of it is because we want it. Everyone wants money. Money doesn't want them. Everyone is a saver, but savers are actually losers. That's one of Robert Kiyosaki's biggest sayings, which I'm a big fan of, because it has no value past the population's perception of it. That's also why the richest people in the world, like Elon and Jeff and everyone that you see, especially anyone that has real wealth, me included, are all asset rich. There's more value in our companies and our assets than there is in the actual currency, than the actual fiat. These are the biggest beliefs and the biggest mindsets that we have that keep a lot of us poor, that keep a lot of us broke, that keep a lot of us enslaved to the elites, like the banks, of course, and the governments. This is what keeps us under them, and this is what keeps them in control. I really hope you gained something out of the video. If you did, please share this to a buddy. That's really the only way this grows. It's through word of mouth. And if you do that, I'd really appreciate it. And with all that being said, have a good one.